I'm going to walk you through SAUSD's Secondary Learning and Engagement Plan Google Sheet. The state of California has required that all secondary teachers provide at least 240 minutes of daily instruction. And the purpose of this plan is to provide teachers with a way to document their remote instructional practices, times, and student engagement. The first thing you'll want to do is to make your own copy. You can do so by clicking File, Make a Copy. And then when you name it, you can just call it Secondary Learning and Engagement Plan, followed by your name. You should now have your own copy of this Google Sheet. You'll see here on the first tab a template of a block schedule for the first 2 weeks of the school year. Note yours may look different based on your own site's unique schedule. The area where you will be inputting your content, details, and notes on your instruction will be on these tabs below. You'll see Period 0, Period 1, Period 2, and so on. I'd like to quickly go over the difference between synchronous and asynchronous instruction. If you'd like to pause the video to go over the bullet points, feel free. Synchronous instruction simply involves students interacting with a live teacher or facilitator along with other students over something like a Zoom call or a Google Meet session. You'll be providing synchronous instruction every school day, and you can view your site's remote block schedule to see which days you will provide synchronous instruction for each period. Asynchronous instruction, on the other hand, involves students completing a posted assignment on their own at their own pace within a set window of time. This can be like you posting something on Canvas that they complete and turn in the next day. Here we are in the Period 1 tab. You want to first type in the course name in this cell at the top. We're going to call this Geometry. You'll also see that sample content has been provided to show you what 2 consecutive days might look like. Day 1 and Day 2 samples. Note that these can be any 2 days of the semester. You'll see that this period only has synchronous instruction on the first day, but not on the second day. That's because this period might have synchronous instruction every other day, and the days in between they complete an asynchronous assignment or activity that you provide, as shown here. You'll see for the synchronous days of instruction, you provide the standard, learning objective, time of your class, and then the link for your Zoom or Google Meet call. Here you provide any notes pertaining to that class session after the class has already taken place. And then here, any accommodations you made for EL or SPED populations. And then to the far right, you provide your office hours for that day and any notes from your office hour check-ins with students. The next day, this period will not have synchronous instruction, but will be completing an asynchronous assignment, and here is where you document those details. You'll see here an example of what 4 consecutive days might look like for this geometry class. As you see, the standard for the first day is NA, as this day mainly includes reviewing syllabus, schedule, classroom routines, etc. After that, the notes are recorded, any details on accommodations, and then office hour times and notes. The following day, an asynchronous activity was posted on Canvas for students to complete, and here is what they were to provide. Here's an example of what my documentation might look like for a normal geometry lesson, including standards. Now, this does not mean that you will be jumping into subject lessons the second day of synchronous instruction. This is merely for example purposes. You can see the standard, a learning objective, the time and link, notes on the lesson, accommodations, and then office hour details. Note that these 4 columns can be filled out well in advance of instruction, as can the asynchronous fields. If department collaboration time is provided, you may consider spending a portion of that time completing these fields with course-alike colleagues, and then using it as a pacing guide. If you have further questions regarding the Secondary Learning and Engagement Plan, contact your site administrator or department chair for guidance.